What's up? I'm Vin, and today I want to look at how to find the midpoint of a line segment. So we'll go through two examples, and first up is we have a line segment with these endpoints, and we want to know the coordinates of the midpoint. Now for these questions, sometimes you could just sketch this out, and 7, -1, if we have this axis over here, we're going to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going down 1 unit, and we'll label this as point A. And then point B is at -3, 3, so we're going to the left 1, 2, 3, and we're going up 1, 2, 3 units. And if we plot these 2 points and we look very carefully, we want to try to imagine where would the midpoint between these 2 points be, and it's looking like this point here. So our value for M is looking like the coordinates 2, 1. But if you want to be 100% precise, just know the formula for the midpoint is we have x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we're just adding the x coordinates and dividing by 2 and doing the same thing to the y's. But if we want to label this and make it very formal, we could call the first point x1, y1, and the second point we'll call x2, y2. So the midpoint, if we do this the technical way, is we have the sum of the x values first. That's 7 plus -3, and that's being divided by 2. So that's our x coordinate, and our y coordinate is going to be -1, that's y1, plus y2 is 3 divided by 2. So if we simplify this, the midpoint, we have 7 plus -3 is 4, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we have -1 plus 3 is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So it does check out, our midpoint is 2, 1. Now, this method is way more reliable when you have a formula, because this does work sometimes, but in the event they gave us a situation where the midpoint worked out to a decimal, or let's say this was the point 700, -1000, we're not going to count over 700 and go down -1000. It helps to have a formula that gives us a much more direct answer. So this is our solution to the first question. Now the second example is a little bit trickier. For this one, we're given the coordinates of the midpoint. So we're told that the midpoint is at 2, 4, and we're given one of the endpoints. We're given the value, or the location of point B, which is at 3, 10. And we want to know what are the coordinates of A. So this is the $1,000,000 question here, is where is A located? So once again, we could just think of the formula for the midpoint. And the midpoint is equal to, we have the sum of the x coordinates divided by 2. That's our x entry. And then our y coordinate is the sum of the y coordinates divided by 2. So just know, we could think of this as x1, y1, and then b would give us x2, y2. So if we want to find the midpoint of AB, now all we're going to do is we're going to make a substitution here. So we have the midpoint is x1 plus x2 is equal to 3 divided by 2, comma, and we have y1, which is what we're looking for, plus 10 divided by 2 as well. And we're told that the actual coordinates for the midpoint is 2, 4. So now what we have to do for this next part is we're going to notice the only way for this to work out is if this x coordinate, x1 plus 3 divided by 2, that has to be equal to 2, and this y coordinate, y1 plus 10 divided by 2, over here has to be equal to 4. So we could set up 2 separate equations here. We could set up x1 plus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 2, and we'll solve this first. So we cross multiply, and we have x1 plus 3 is equal to 4 when we cross multiply, and then subtracting 3 on both sides tells us that x1 is equal to 1. So this gives us the x value of point A. Now for the y value, we're going to set y1 plus 10 divided by 2 equal to 4. And if we cross multiply this one, we have y1 plus 10 is equal to 2 times 4 is 8. And we subtract 10 on this equation here for both sides, and this gives us a y1 value of -2. So this tells us the coordinates of A are going to be 1, -2. So now let's just verify that these points do check out. So we have A is at 1, -2. So if we plot that over here, this is point A. And point B was over at 3, 10. So we're going over 1, 2, 3 and going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's all the way up here. So this is point B. And the midpoint we were told is at 2, 4. So we're going over 1, 2 and going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, we're claiming that this value, or I'm sorry, this point A is in fact correct. So now let's go ahead and look at what happens when we connect points A and B together. Is it visually obvious from this that M is in fact the midpoint? And it is. If we look at what we found for A, this does in fact create segment AB where M is in fact the midpoint. Okay, well this is going to conclude this video on finding the midpoint of a line segment. If you found this video to be helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel. And if you have any requests, just leave the topics you want me to cover in the comments section below. And thanks for watching.